sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Mumekaribishwa.
Asante.
Mujisikie mko nyumbani.
Huyu ni kama hajakula kitu. Niko na njaa.
Haya, ngoja.
Ona. Hapa tunakula mzima. Malenge.
Sizile ndio ungetupatia kuliko hii.
Ile ni ya wageni wangu wanakuja.
Lazima tuchore auntie. Lala.
Oi. Nini tena?
Liabu akifanya hivi unampatia kitu tamu.
Selector, bigger, tasty and healthy. And now Selector comes with free Choco Primo drinking chocolate for a limited period of time.
Ile utamu iko hapa, watafurahia sana.
Oya cheki. Kuna vile sasa muziki manze, kuna vile inajipa manze, yani na cheki. Haimaanisha tu tunajibamba, yani very regular.
Kitu ya muhimu kwanza ni kujua hali yako ya status ya HIV.
Kwa hapa hivi tuwapeleke na rieng, tujue venye manzi tutasaidiana si kama vijana. Na kama unaogopa kwenda pale hivi kwa clinic, unaweza pitia pale hivi kwa chemist ya mtaa, uitishe a self test kit. Na wanauza 500 bob only. Unajitestia tu mtaani, unajua hali yako.
Manze na ukiweza patikana nayo, yani uko positive manze, usiogope. Kuna madawa yani jo, kuna counseling manze. Unaweza kula fit yani, alafu unaweza piga bado ma exercises kiasi hivi. Na kama nyewe manze ukiweza patikana yani hauna manze, usiasie tu unaenda kutafuta tena.
Cheki. Ukiweza abstain.
Lakini maji yakizidi unga,
Wrap it before you tap it.
la bila gloves haiwezi. Rieng ni kujua.
Unapoendelea kujikinga kutokana na HIV, tafadhali zingatia taratibu zote za serikali za kujikinga na virusi vya corona.
Afya bora, maisha bora. Jipime, jiinue.
I'm here for small biasharas in my hood or beyond. I'm here for my customers who are sought every time they come through. Put your business on the map with Visa, where you shop matters.
Have you filed your 2019 tax returns? You have few days remaining. Do it today and avoid the last-minute rush. Log on to itax.kra.go.ke.
What comes to your mind when you think of the perfect home for your family? Is it the beauty, the comfort, the security, the convenience, or even the affordability? Victory Gardens offers exactly that and much more. It is just 10 minutes drive from Kitengela town and 3.8 kilometers off the tarmac. This gated community project comes with solar street lighting, Maram roads, beautiful trees, 24-hour security, and water connected to every plot. The best part is, families are already living here. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optiven.co.ke.
Optiven Limited, the pacesetters in real estate.
It is important to note that proper waste management is an essential public duty in the fight against COVID-19. As NEMA, we've developed a robust national guidelines on safe handling and disposal of this waste. We need to be responsible as citizens of this country to ensure that we do not mix household domestic waste with other hazardous waste. Used gloves, masks should be treated essentially as hazardous waste.
NEMA, mazingira yetu, uhai wetu, wajibu wetu.
Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, NUPEA, mandate entails development of nuclear power program for electricity generation in Kenya, carrying out research for development of energy technologies and capacity building for the energy sector.
We at NUPEA join the country in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. We urge our employees to strictly follow guidelines as provided by the government, maintain social distance, and undertake hygiene practices such as hand washing with soap and running water or use of sanitizer, as well as wearing the mask at all the time when in public, including the office. And I urge you to stay safe, fellow Kenyans.
This is NTV.
Well, it's Monday, the 29th day of June 2020, the last week of this month, and more grim news about COVID-19 in the country as the second arm of the government, that's Parliament, is infiltrated by the deadly virus as 6 of its members test positive for the coronavirus. We'll give you the latest numbers in the country in a bit, but first let's take a look at the global figures now. And we begin with the total number of infections worldwide that stand at 10,329,000. The death toll globally is at 506,068, while those who have recovered is, as at this hour, 5,607,812. Let's come closer home and to Africa. The total infections are at 387,023. The death toll is at 9,737, while those who have recovered go up tonight to close the day at 186,547. Finally, to Trump's America, the total number of infections are at 2,652,000. The death toll is at 128,557, while the recoveries are at 1,099,188. On the day that the US registered more than 11,000 new infections. To the highlights.
Tonight, a close-range gunshot fired by Babu Owino left him paralyzed and broken.
Ile machungu ninayo siwezi ongea. Mimi huwa naongea tu na Mungu wangu.
DJ Evolve and his mother speak to NTV exclusively on life after the point-blank shot that almost cut short his life. Also tonight, the coronavirus disease is in the house. At least 6 members of parliament test positive.
I do not know why it is important to know how many parliamentarians have tested positive.
Government is aiding narrative of 2 Kenyans, the rich and the poor, as COVID-19 infections and deaths keep rising. Plus, the headache of reopening schools amid already overcrowded classrooms.
All the children must have masks if the social distancing is not achieved.
And she admits she strangled her 4 children to death, but says she's not to blame.
He used my body to strangle the children.
When it comes to law will see that as criminality. When it comes to religion will see that as immorality. We would want, first of all, to do a diagnosis to understand what is the condition that has made this mother to do what she has done.
Live from the Nation Center, this is NTV Tonight with Ken Mijungu.
Good evening, glad you could join us on NTV Tonight. Flora Tieno is our sign language interpreter. And let's begin with our top story. Now, the only thing many know about him is he was the victim of a near-fatal shooting in a club right here in Nairobi. Felix Orinda, popularly known as DJ Evolve, who was shot by Embakasi Member of Parliament. Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino is numb from his mid-torso down. Now, his health has improved over the past weeks and he's receiving treatment at home as he clutches onto hope that things will turn around and he will return to the DJ decks. He and his mother spoke exclusively to NTV's Dan Mwangi on his progress and their prayers. Just to point out this, DJ Evolve's voice is not as clear because he has a tube to his neck which helps him to sanction and clear his airway. And you may hear it in the background as he speaks to us.
your account of things. What happened on the fateful day?
On the fateful day, no, it's okay. Niko na emotion. Sitaki kuongea story ya huyu. Sitaki kuongea. Okay. Vile nilipata ripoti ya kijana wangu ati amepata accident pale pake pa kazi, nilikuwa shocked. And niliona kila kitu imeturn upside down. Lakini nilirudi kwa Mungu wangu, nikaambia Mungu, ishatendeka, usimame na mimi na uniokolee mtoto wangu.
How are you feeling now? You're doing better. Okay. Right now you're able to move your hands a bit. Okay, but that's some good progress from before. Okay. So now how do you get like your upkeep? Kazi yako imesimama sasa ndio ili uweze kuja kumuona ama kwa vipi?
Tangu 17th January kila kitu ilisimama upande wangu. Kusingefanya chochote na mtoto wangu wako hivi. So mi niko tu na yeye always since 17th January up to now. Amekuwa hosi kwa mwezi 6. So kama mtu ataweza sema ati mimi ndio nilisema tolewe, mimi sio daktari. Nijue kama mgonjwa ametosha kuenda nyumbani ama bado anafaa kwende akae hospitali. Niliona kwa gazeti na nilikuwa shocked. Sijawahi ongea na mtu yoyote wa media. So hizo reports zao waliandika juu yangu wasemada. Sijui pahali walitoa. Mi concentration yangu ni kwa huyu kijana wangu apone. Bill ilifika 17 million point something. So a week before the week tulitoka, niliona ilikuwa alishalipa, babu alishalipa 7 million, but hiyo ni agreement ilikuwa kati yake na hospitali. So yeye ndiye analipa, hapo siwezi sema kitu kwa hiyo bili iko juu yake. Yeah.
What kind of care is he getting from home now that he's here?
Okay, akona nurses wale alipewa na daktari ndio wako na yeye hapa. So ako under home care.
Mkenda kotini, what are you hoping to get?
Justice for my kid. Only that.
Na babu amekuongelesha wewe?
Hajawahi muona. Hatujawahi ongea. Na ile machungu ninayo siwezi ongea. Mimi huwa naongea tu na Mungu wangu. Siwezi ongea. Siwezi ongea. Kwa sababu naona kama maisha ya mtoto wangu imeharibiwa.
There was a report that you had forgiven the person who did this to you. Maybe just clarify.
Well, it's been about 6 months since the shooting of Felix Orinda, aka DJ Evolve, captured the public's attention. Now, fear is rife that his alleged attacker could buy his freedom despite the event being captured on camera. 5 months later, it appears those fears were founded, as Olive Barrows now reports.
Thank you very much, fellow Kenyans. I'm Honorable Babu Owino, Member of Parliament in Bakasi's constituency. Today's lesson will start at exactly 1 p.m. I will dispense knowledge like I don't care. Stay tuned, and I believe that our students will benefit as usual.
I don't care, as Felix Orinda, popularly known as DJ Evolve, lies imprisoned on an invalid's bed, barely able to move, let alone speak. Having been shot in the neck by the esteemed Member of Parliament as captured on closed-circuit television cameras. A casual pull of a shisha pipe and boom, a man's life forever changed. The self-professed future of Kenya, as he proudly posits on Twitter, lives to reinvent himself. He now fancies himself a professor, a role model for the youth, imprinting his wisdom on impressionable minds. The irony: Felix Orinda pays the price, imprisoned to a bed, as a broken court system allows his alleged attacker to walk free. Orinda denied his day in court 5.5 months later. The already backed-up lower courts ground to a halt by the COVID-19 pandemic, as the judiciary and the executive measure whose is bigger.
Let us never forget what is really an issue. It is the question of justice being dispensed fairly, openly, and quickly. Justice delayed is justice denied.
Compelled by the senseless nature of Orinda's injuries, the magistrate's court had imposed a 10 million shilling cash bail to be used to meet Orinda's medical expenses, a decision later reversed by the High Court. As the matter drags on and the medical expenses pile up, the reality is Orinda may be forced to settle for less than the justice is due. Olive Barrows, NTV.
And of course, we continue to wish DJ Evolve quick recovery. Now, a woman who is accused of having killed her 4 children in Naivasha was today arraigned. Beatrice Mwende Kimodhoi, age 42, now claims to have been possessed by an evil spirit that led her to commit the murders. She vaguely remembers what occurred and shared her recollection with NTV.
News of the death of 4 children was received with great pain by friends and neighbors. What made the news unbearable was the cause of death. They are said to have been killed by the very woman who gave them life. Today, she was in court to answer to murder charges facing her. She tells us the reality of her action is heavy on her.
I'm a teacher. I'm a mentor. I have never even done anything wrong that I can say I can do. So even myself, I don't believe that I can kill somebody.
She claims that her actions were not her own and that she was being controlled by evil forces. She accuses her lover of having something to do with the event that she says she fails to fully understand.
I think Evans, who happened to be my ex-boyfriend, I'm suspecting he's the one who caused all that. He used my body to struggle the children.
She says that the voices in her head gave her orders which she readily complied to. First to face her heartless act was her youngest 2-year-old Whitney Nyambura.
I had as if something is telling me to kill her. And that is what I did. I struggled the girl with no much strain. Then I placed her, I covered her with a baby shawl.
Then her 3 siblings would follow: Melody Warigia, aged 8, Willie Masharia, aged 6, and Samantha Njeri, who died at the tender age of 4.
I heard the voice of my ex-boyfriend, who happened to be in a cult, telling me, well done, move on, continue, finish the mission.
The contents of her letter to her eldest son told a story of a premeditated murder. She had instructed him to care for his surviving brother. Also, she had made significant burial arrangements for the 4 children, down to their wardrobe for the burial. This she remembers, but she says was not planned, but rather instructed.
Because I don't have a piece of land, and of course, whatever that has happened, my children has to be buried. So I don't want to bother so many people. Just request my brother, either one of them, because they are close friend of mine, to give somewhere where we can bury my children. And I told my son categorically not to engage in any dealings with Evans, who is my ex-boyfriend, because he is evil.
Why would someone do this? Psychologist Catherine Gashada says that Mwende is a sick woman and should be treated as such.
We would want, first of all, to do a diagnosis to understand what is the condition that has made this mother to do what she has done.
Though the case must take its natural course, there is a need for self-awareness and more need to have the society aware of mental problems and be more forthcoming to seek and offer help.
When it comes to law will see that as criminality. When it comes to religion will see that as immorality.
That notwithstanding, her case will go on with the mention scheduled for July 6th. This coming after a mental assessment to determine whether her faculties allow her to stand trial. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Well, away from that to some COVID-19 update right now. Now, Kenya recorded 120 new cases, bringing the total count to 6,190. 84 are male, while 36 are female. Nairobi County recorded the highest cases at 67, with Mombasa following at 17. 42 people have recovered so far, bringing the total number of recoveries to 2,013. One person has, however, died, bringing the total number of fatalities to 144. Tonight, it is emerging that 6 members of parliament are among the patients recorded, with many others who they have recently interacted with freely having reasons to worry. Helen Aura with the report.
Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa at a recent gathering where effectively he led by bad example in encouraging violation of social distancing rules. The Ministry of Health continues to sensitize Kenyans to adhere to the set guidelines, and if found flouting, they are punished, but for our leaders, their acts are somewhat sanitized. With reports that 6 members of parliament have been confirmed COVID-19 positive today and the ongoing political gatherings, is the ministry concerned?
I do not know why it is important to know how many parliamentarians have tested positive. Because in the way of fighting stigma, it is not important that we know how many bishops have turned positive, how many judges have turned positive. We've urged again and again individual responsibility.
As much as the government insists that it is an individual's responsibility, it is now coming off as toothless, not able to tame its own, with the leaders shying away from taking responsibility of any possible repercussions.
You can't say that a meeting in Kakamega, you got it there because you were in the meeting. You can get it anywhere. Yes.
Even with the recent meeting convened in Kakamega, it was clear that a section of Kenyans and leaders were seen flouting the measures as they were eager to catch a glimpse of their leaders.
And what we did in Kakamega is that we made sure that the press, your people inspected the premises to find that, to establish that there was proper distancing as required. That hall that we were using can accommodate 2,000 people, and we had only 240 people there.
The ministry says that as for now, it's an individual's responsibility to ensure they are safe, even as they freely choose to congregate. Helen Aura, NTV.
All right, we're heading into a quick break, but first take a look at this. What a creative way to graduate. Students from a New Hampshire high school take ski lifts to attend a graduation ceremony at the top of a local mountain. Now, maintaining social distancing since large groups can no longer gather as a result of the coronavirus pandemic.
The risk of illness-causing germs is increasing. It is believed that the coronavirus can remain on surfaces in your home for up to 9 days. Touching infected surfaces is one of the ways in which germs spread. Regularly disinfect your floors, countertops, and kitchen surfaces with bleach, and use an effective toilet cleaner inside and outside your toilet bowl. This message is brought to you by Medifact, JIC and Hapik.
What comes to your mind when you think of the perfect home for your family? Is it the beauty, the comfort, the security, the convenience, or even the affordability? Victory Gardens offers exactly that and much more. It is just 10 minutes drive from Kitengela town and 3.8 kilometers off the tarmac. This gated community project comes with solar street lighting, Maram roads, beautiful trees, 24-hour security, and water connected to every plot. The best part is, families are already living here. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optiven.co.ke.
Optiven Limited, the pacesetters in real estate.
My whole life is in my phone.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Have you filed your 2019 tax returns? You have few days remaining. Do it today and avoid the last-minute rush. Log on to itax.kra.go.ke.
Like every mother, I'm worried about dangerous insects, especially mosquitoes, which spread diseases like malaria to my loved ones. This year, I'm not afraid. I'm using Mortein Doom. Mortein Doom All Insect Killer provides protection in seconds. Not even a single mosquito is spared, because even one mosquito bite can cause malaria. Mortein Doom provides protection in seconds.
Sasa anamupenda lakini anashindwa kujielezea. Si life ingekuwa hizi kama mambo yangekuwa one touch yap, kuongea na kujielezea. Mambo mengine sio rahisi, lakini kupata 50% extra airtime ya kuponda kwa SMS ya Safaricom, mambo ni one touch yap. Pata 50% extra credo bila expiry ya kupiga na ku-SMS across networks. Piga star 444 star scratch card pin hash. Na kama ni M-Pesa star 444 star 2 hash. Safaricom for you.
Well, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says it might be difficult for some schools to adhere to the social distancing rule, and therefore it will be mandatory for all learners to have their face masks on. Meanwhile, 8.2 billion shillings from the World Bank will be used to improve infrastructure in public schools from 30 counties across the country. NTV's education reporter Sharon Baranga with those details.
The capacity of this class in one of the public primary schools was to accommodate 40 pupils. But since the launch of free primary education, the numbers swelled to 100, and there are times when the number of learners occupying this space goes to over 100.
Okay, here we have the factors of...
This is the reality in a majority of public primary schools. Ideally, with 15 to 20 learners recommended per class, the school needs 4 to 5 classes to absorb pupils in this class alone if they are to adhere to the measures of physical distancing.
The elephant in the room is the social and physical distancing. All the children must have masks. If the social distancing is not achieved, all children must have masks.
5 times 2.
There are plans to improve infrastructure in some public schools from some counties.
We have the SECIP money, which is about 8.2 billion from the World Bank. I think they are opening tenders sometime this week, and we are going to accelerate. That is supposed to improve the infrastructure level in about 30 counties. And some of these monies will go directly to toilets and to labs and to classrooms.
The government plans on distributing face masks and sanitizers to schools. Meanwhile, technical and vocational education and training institutions have been advised to reorganize their programs to enable students attend classes in shifts so as to achieve social distancing. A majority of the technical institutions have capacity to make their own face masks and sanitizers.
Even as the government projects that learning institutions will reopen in September this year, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says it is not a guarantee, as it all depends on how the virus behaves. Sharon Baranga, NTV, Nairobi.
Well, still on education, the Ministry of Education has suspended a curricular review conference at the Kabarak University in Nakuru County after 2 members of staff at the Kabarak Guest House tested positive for COVID-19. Now, more than 100 officials from the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development were expected at the university this morning. Nakuru County so far has more than 60 confirmed cases of COVID-19, as Bridget Ngana reports.
For the better part of this morning, government-plated cars and ambulances shuttled between the entrance to the Kabarak University and its guest house, following confirmation that 2 members of staff at the Kabarak guest house tested positive for coronavirus.
There was a plan to have people there starting Saturday, and they were supposed to start working today on the university side. On the other side, where we had this problem, was the guest house. So some 2 people tested positive in the guest house. Up to this morning, there had been 80 people who had arrived there. They have been quarantined. I've been in touch with Dr. Amoth. They are going to be tested. They'll remain quarantined there for 14 days. So there is absolutely no cause for alarm.
Officials from the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development were expected to commence reviews on books to be used by upper grades under the competency-based curriculum, with Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha saying they met the safety threshold prescribed by the Ministry of Health on keeping COVID-19 at bay.
I want to assure the nation that I personally went, inspected the hostels, inspected the halls, ensured that they have these automatic things where you put your hand and the sanitizers come around, ensure that they had many washing points.
About 80 officials are currently quarantined at the Kabarak guest house, with the county now having 62 confirmed coronavirus cases. Naivasha, Nakuru Town East and West sub-counties being the areas affected by the virus. 70 people are in quarantine at government facilities and at home. Bridget, Ghana, NTV, Nakuru.
Well, away from education matters, and the puzzle surrounding the trial of alleged police imposter Joshua Waiganjo is not ending anytime soon. This after the Director of Public Prosecution, Nudin Haji, confirmed that he appealed Waiganjo's recent acquittal by the High Court last month in Nakuru. The alleged former police reservist boss, together with 2 other senior police officers who were charged with impersonation and abuse of office, were also acquitted by a magistrate's court back in 2017, with the DPP losing the appeal a year later after the court ruled there was no case to answer. NTV's Seth Olale with the latest twist on Waiganjo's impersonation saga.
It is becoming a challenge to unmask the truth behind police imposter Joshua Waiganjo, with a back and forth between the judiciary and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Barely a month after the High Court in Nakuru acquitted Waiganjo and 2 senior police officers over alleged impersonation and abuse of office, the ODPP, through a tweet, stated that it had officially filed an appeal at the High Court in Nakuru pending hearing. This is the 3rd time the prosecution is appealing the decision of the court to acquit Waiganjo from the time he was first arraigned in 2017. However, a source from the High Court in Nakuru says ODPP's appeal has not been formally admitted in court in the first place, further raising eyebrows as to whether Waiganjo will stand retrial. Waiganjo, who first made headlines in 2012 following the brutal police massacre in Baragoi by armed bandits, has repeatedly denied being a police imposter.
Commissioner of Police Matthew Itere called him recently. He called him when he assumed the power, and in fact, Itere gave him the rank of Senior Superintendent of Police. Itere. And then he was posted to Nakuru. He has been working with Nakuru, PPO, and also with the anti-stockholder Mijungu. The uniform in question is not fake.
The prosecutors lost the first impersonation case in 2017, preceded by a trial magistrate, as well as the second appeal in March 2019, after the same court ruled that there was no case to answer. ODPP's fate appeared sealed after Nakuru resident magistrate Joe Omido in May 8th this year acquitted Waiganjo and 2 others over all the 6 counts they were facing. In his ruling, the magistrate stated that former police boss Matthew Itere failed to produce a discharge letter proving that Waiganjo was dismissed from the force. In addition, all the 4 investigating officers did not appear in court to testify against Waiganjo, and the late Remi Ngugi, the then anti-stock theft unit commander, and Rift Valley Provincial Police Senior Officer John Mtumbijiwe, who has since been reinstated as Assistant Inspector General of Police.
They are hiding something, and I know it will be known soon. This is only an iceberg somewhere, but it will be known. Everything will be known.
Waiganjo walked free from Naivasha prison in 2018 after Justice Christine Meoli ordered a retrial of the robbery with violence case, in which the prosecution witnesses made a dramatic U-turn, claiming that Waiganjo didn't forcefully steal from them. In the latest appeal, the ODPP hasn't ascertained if it will still pursue Waiganjo's previous charge of impersonation. Seth Olale, NTV.
Right, on that note, we take another short break on NTV tonight, but I'll be back with the business. Stay with us.
We all are looking for products to protect ourselves from viruses, but not all products protect us. Did you know that using Dettol soap and water protects against viruses? Many viruses are surrounded by an envelope with receptors that enable them to enter a human cell and cause infection. Dettol soap destroys the outer layer of the virus and effectively removes it. Protect your family from the spread of viruses with Dettol. Dettol cleans and is now tested and proven to be effective against COVID-19 virus. This has been Medivax for Dettol.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Ah, Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
So vile nasema, wacha nikubatie statistics. Niko na gamia 1,500. Tunakuwa drapo gamia na kuwa 6,000. 2,000 natengeneza leather, natengeneza viatu, wallet, kibeti, nauza hapa. Nabatia wewe 50%. Wacha niweke credit nikupigie.
Namna gani wewe? Hii mambo ya kuishiwa na credit kila saa. Come on. Nunua hiyo simu ya Vodafone. Calling fiber to fiber is 0 shillings per minute. And it is not expensive. Only 2,999 Kenya shillings.
Alo hali wa. Hata fadhali hiyo credit ikae ninunue simu basi.
Faibika leo na Vodafone for only 2,999 Kenya shillings. It will always be free to call fiber to fiber.
What's the point of your revenge if it'll cost you your life?
I think you should head to your daughter-in-law first. I'm not her nanny. There's nothing wrong with being a nanny, right? It's a decent job. What if Anna and Stella are one and the same?
Miranda, you told me Anna's already dead.
I thought of a plan, a sure way to get the truth out of that woman. I'm the one who will finish the Del Mundo's wickedness. With your fingerprints, Stella, we can confirm your real identity. Is that your best shot, to accuse me?
Because I'm sure that it's you, Anna. There are other ways to attack Salvador. I'll deal with his clients one by one. It's time that I apply everything you taught me.
His Excellency Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is pleased to notify property owners within Kakamega County of his decision to extend a 100% waiver. The waiver has been extended from 1st June to 31st August 2020.
All right, let's make sense of this sense. Joseph Chege Gikonyo, an employee of the Kenya Revenue Authority, and his wife Lucy Kagai Stephen are set to be arraigned tomorrow, Tuesday, on tax evasion charges. Now, Chege and his wife are alleged to have failed to pay taxes amounting to about 38.7 million shillings through their company, Gishe Limited. Now, both are directors at the company, while Chege is also a manager at the Kenya Revenue Authority. The two got into the radar of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission for amassing wealth valued at about 597.5 million shillings between 2010 and 2015, which they could not properly account for. And Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala has given stakeholders in the industry a reality check when it comes to the adjustments they need to undertake to revive the sector. Now, Kenya is estimated to have lost about 80 billion shillings so far in tourism revenue to COVID-19. Lilian Kiera reports on the radical measures the industry needs to embrace to get back to its feet.
It is no secret that the tourism and aviation sectors have taken a heavy beating from the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Tourism Recovery Strategy report, which has just been released, the tourism industry will only recover 30% of its losses this year when the country reopens. Domestic tourism is set to resume in the coming weeks, but international tourists are not expected in the country before the second quarter of next year.
All over the world, this is the recommendation that we start around community tourism, with community tourism phase, whereby tourists should move around their locality, like within the counties. Then we open up domestic tourism, then regional tourism, then international tourism.
You want to charge $300 to go to Masai Mara. Domestic tourism will not pay $300 to go to Masai Mara. Domestic tourism will get $300 to go to Dubai. But if the pricing is going to be high, you will not get even domestic tourism. I can tell you that.
Last year, Kenya earned 163.6 billion shillings from tourism on the back of slightly over 2 million foreign tourists. The 80 billion shillings hit accounts for about half of Kenya's earnings last year, pointing to the devastation occasioned by the pandemic. Over 2 million Kenyans employed by this sector are out of jobs.
So the entire tourism sector is out of business at the moment, so there are major job losses. But we have been assured immediately we start opening, even the people who have been sent home on redundancy, the minute the economy picks up, they'll be the first people who will be given the priority to come back.
The coronavirus pandemic has brought about untold damage to the world economy. For tourism to recover, investors and business owners in the tourism industry are being challenged to adopt radical measures to attract tourists. The need for both public and private investments in the industry to see to it that it weathers the COVID-19 storm is paramount.
You cannot own a hotel which is 30, 40 years old, and the only investment you have done is a coat of paint. You are actually removing yourself from competition.
And in the spirit of modernizing Kenyan hotels, CS Balala has proposed the enactment of a policy that will see hotels without internet access turned down from having licenses. Lillian Kiarie, NTV.
Well, the question is, will they comply with that reality check from the CS? Let's see what happens in the coming days. And traders at Uhuru Market, right here in Nairobi's Eastlands, are calling on the government to fulfill its promise to upgrade the market. The market, which was established back in the 70s, currently has worn-out infrastructure. The traders say they face a number of challenges, including poor waste disposal system, as well as a shortage of parking space for vehicles to offload goods. Now, the traders have embraced the idea of an upgrade, but are now hoping that it will not be another of the empty promises. Away from that, Family Bank and Isuzu East Africa customers can now access up to 95% financing payable within 60 months on commercial vehicles, courtesy of a partnership between the two companies. Now, the asset finance agreement, dubbed Isuzu Strong, Kenya Strong, which also has a 90-day repayment holiday, is designed to cushion small and medium enterprises from the economic slowdown caused by COVID-19. Now, the partnership will enable SME customers in agribusiness, trade and logistic business conveniently purchase Isuzu vehicles at competitive interest rates. Now, schools and churches will be able to access 100% financing, where public service vehicle owners can access up to 80% financing.
So you buy the truck today, you start to work with the truck, and you start to pay after 90 days.
For every customer who purchases a unit under this partnership with Isuzu and Family Bank, you will also now be entitled to 2 free AMREF Maisha covers, which is an emergency evacuation cover by AMREF Flying Doctors, which provides both air and ground ambulances.
Well, I like the 90-day holiday for the repayments to begin. That's 3 months you pay, you pick your car, but you have 3 months before you start paying. And on that positive note, we take a short break. I'll be back.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Explorers of the night, wale wase wa kuhustle usiku, kustreama movies, music mix diehards, and gaming fanatics. We've heard you. It is now your time to fly your flag high. Do what you love, mpaka che na Telkom. Join Usiku Sako with Telkom night bundles that allow you rule the night at prices you love. Join our tribe, Usiku Sako Squad. Just dial *544# from your Telkom line and select the night bundle of your dreams. You are the legend the night needs.
I'm here for small biasharas, in my hood or beyond. I'm here for my customers, who are sought every time they come through. Put your business on the map with Visa. Where you shop matters.
The artisans in the construction sector put one stone after another to build the towers we see around our communities. These professionals put their skills and risk their lives to construct the buildings we enjoy. The security we experience in the houses we live in is all due to these artisans. This explains the importance of regulating them so that they can be held accountable to the work and service they offer. The government assures its citizens of their health and safety through regulations of all professions. And this is why the Engineering Technology Act 2016 was enacted. KETRB, home of knowledge, skills, innovations, and professionalism.
Enjoy the naturally appealing taste of our unique fruit blends. Every sip will delight your taste buds as they explode with flavor. It's only natural you invite your family and friends to your kind of world. An exciting world of 6 different flavors to pick from. Represent who you naturally are with Juice Drink. Naturally ours with no added preservatives. A quality product from Bidco Africa.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Well, in total disregard to the COVID-19 social distancing measures, drama unfolded this morning at the Kitui County Assembly after lawyers representing Governor Charity Ngilu unceremoniously and remorsefully bungled out of the premises while seeking audience with the County Assembly clerk to have summons issued to the governor by the MCAs cancelled as per the High Court directive. That suspended the tabling and debating of the impeachment motion against her, and that was scheduled for today. Dibala Inea with those details.
If the law is an ass, as they say, Kitui members of County Assembly have showed that they can kick it. Governor Charity Ngilu's lawyers had made their way to the Assembly, seeking audience with the County Assembly clerk to have the summons issued to the County Governor cancelled as per the High Court directive.
You invited us. Can you ask the Speaker to give us a letter of cancellation? This is a public office. These are public grounds. If it was Parliament, we would say, "Si, mamako and mamako."
The court directive effectively barred Kitui MCAs from tabling or debating the impeachment motion against Governor Ngilu. They were manhandled and eventually ejected from the premises by security on orders of the MCS.
This is, of course, an unbecoming act on the part of the County Assembly. Much as they have been served, they did not have any basis to bar lawyers who are representing the Honorable Governor from accessing the offices. These are public offices.
The impeachment motion drafted by Athi Ward representative and leader of Majority Peter Kilonzo has already been signed by 40 MCAs out of 56, accusing Governor Ngilu of violating the Constitution, abuse of office, and gross misconduct. Other charges leveled against her include irregular procurement procedures and failure to submit statutory deductions to the Kenya Revenue Authority, non-compliance to the 2/3 gender rule in the appointment of members of the County Executive Committee. The lawyers had filed an application on June the 24th, 2020, challenging the tabling and debating of the impeachment motion.
The court order stopping this tabling of motion is in itself an indication that there are constitutional and legal issues to be litigated.
The winds of impeachment is blowing from the county of Kirinyaga, where MCAs failed to impeach Governor Anne Waiguru after she was exonerated on Friday the 26th of June by the Senate. Dibala Nair, NTV.
Well, away from that, Starehe Member of Parliament Charles Njagwa is spending the night at Nairobi Police Regional Headquarters after being arrested by detectives right here in Nairobi. It got quite dramatic as the supporters of the legislator demanded his release earlier today, where Vincent Oduor witnessed all that.
Starehe legislator Charles Njagwa was busy inspecting projects and road construction at Ngara here in Nairobi before the unexpected happened. More than 6 detectives confronted him, demanding to arrest him right there.
Officers wamenifuata hapa kwa barabara, wakaniambia tunatakikana huko Nairobi area, na mimi hakuna makosa nimefanya. Mimi nilikuwa na launch mradi ya barabara. Kama soko ni ya wananchi ni wananchi. Kwa hivyo mimi sioni kwa nini naulizwa, na mimi nilisema tu, hata president alisema soko inafaa kuendea hawkers. Kwa hivyo mimi kusema soko ni ya hawkers, mimi sioni ni makosa gani nimefanya.
Jaguar was to be whisked away in the detective's car, but his supporters stopped the move. Eventually, the legislator was driven in his car as the detectives followed him closely to Nairobi Regional Police Headquarters. Few hours later, his supporters were camped at the station, demanding his release. The police decided to space out those who were crowding by way of tear gas, which worked in dispersing them. Jaguar, who is still in police custody, is being accused of incitement.
We had a confrontation between some members of the public and the police at Mwarero Market, which is located in Starehe constituency, whereby the area member of parliament and led some rowdy people purporting to take over the market.
It is alleged that the Starehe member of parliament was pushing for traders' space allocation at the new Mwarero market, while the authorities, for one reason or other, were not buying it. Vincent Odur, NTV.
And of course, he'll see or find his way to court tomorrow to be charged with those offences. Time now for another break. Ida Waringa is already in studio. She'll be back with the sports. Stay with us.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
COVID-19 waste disposal tips. Separate or segregate the waste at source. Use biomedical waste bin liners. Use licensed NEMA biomedical waste handlers for transportation. Use dedicated vehicle to collect COVID-19 waste. In rural areas, disinfect the COVID-19 waste before disposal.
It is important to note that proper waste management is an essential public duty in the fight against COVID-19.
NEMA, mazingira yetu, uhai wetu, wajibu wetu.
Mikono juu. Sasa ruka.
Nini? Ulikuwa tayari kuchangamka? Si ungesema.
Changamkia vipindi vipendavyo, vichekesho, muziki, habari za utendeti na mengine mengi. Jione YouTube na Tenbo. Dial *544# and select YouTube.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
What comes to your mind when you think of the perfect home for your family? Is it the beauty, the comfort, the security, the convenience, or even the affordability? Victory Gardens offers exactly that and much more. It is just 10 minutes drive from Kitengela town and 3.8 kilometers off the tarmac. This gated community project comes with solar street lighting, maram roads, beautiful trees, 24-hour security, and water connected to every plot. The best part is, families are already living here. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Optivan Limited, the pay-saters in real estate.
What's the point of your revenge if it'll cost you your life?
I think you should tend to your daughter-in-law first. I'm not her nanny. There's nothing wrong with being a nanny, right? It's a decent job. What if Anna and Stella are one and the same?
Miranda, you told me Anna's already dead.
I thought of a plan, a sure way to get the truth out of that woman. I'm the one who will finish the Del Mundo's wickedness. With your fingerprints, Stella, we can confirm your real identity. Is that your best shot, to accuse me?
Because I'm sure that it's you, Anna. There are other ways to attack Salvador. I'll deal with his clients one by one. It's time that I apply everything you taught me.
His Excellency Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is pleased to notify property owners within Kakamega County of his decision to extend a 100% waiver. The waiver has been extended from 1st June to 31st August 2020.
A very good evening to you. Time for the latest in the world of sport. Well, Chelimo Mayo Biwott was one of the first women to represent Kenya at the Olympics, where she ran in the 800 meters and 1500 meters. Our reporter Steve Keter visited her in her home in Mulango area, Nandi County, and tells us how the forgotten Olympian, who now sells vegetables, managed to qualify for the Olympics at just 17 years of age, and why she retired just 1 year later.
Chelimo Mayo Biwott would easily pass for just a regular vegetable seller at the Mulango shopping center in Nandi County. But she is a mama mboga with a difference. Chelimo was a pioneer Kenyan athlete who flew Kenya's flag at the Munich Olympics in 1972.
Naomba kabisa serikali ya kaunti isaidie sisi. Watie kitu ya kupangusia jasho yetu na tukule vizuri na kuvaa vizuri.
Like most athletes, Chelimo's athletics career started while she was in primary school back in the late 1960s.
Nikakimbilia district yetu Kapsabet, nikaenda mpaka Nairobi, nikakuwa national.
After the nationals, Chelimo proceeded to Zambia for the East African Games, and she still chuckles about her experience.
Siku hiyo nikapanda ndege inaitwa Karafu. Siku hiyo tracksuit. Alikuwa ndo mtu ya kwanza siku hiyo nivaa viatu. Tulikuwa nakimbia na mguu. Kwa ni msumari mbili hapa mbele.
Despite the unique challenges, Chelimo won 800 and 1500 meters races and proceeded to Australia for Olympics qualifications. At the 1972 Munich Games, young Chelimo and Tekla Chemabwai were the only women in the Team Kenya Olympics team made up of 57 athletes. She reached quarterfinals in both 800 and 1500 meters, and one could have easily bet on Chelimo becoming the next star in athletics, but fate had other plans for her.
Silikuwa timu moja tu, lakini yeye alikuwa anakimbia nini? Stupidness. Sasa kukaa huko tunakaa kama mandugu. Kwa sababu tunatoka sehemu moja na yeye. Na mwingine anaitwa Cosmas Yele. Anakaa kama Musuria. Sasa maneno sasa akapatikana hapo. Nikakuta tu nikaoleka. Sasa mjeso yangu alinisia tu hapo.
Upon meeting Amos Biwott, the father to Kenyan 3,000 meter steeplechase success, Chelimo's athletics career ended even before it fully began. Now she has a word of advice for young female athletes.
Na maneno ya hiyo mapenzi. Unajua hata maisha yangu hiyo maneno aliharibu mimi. Ningekuwa bado naendelea kabisa. Sasa kile naambia mzee kama ningekuwa wakati huu ningefunga hiyo kwa sababu aliharibu maisha yangu.
Having tested just one Olympic Games, Chelimo wishes for another experience.
Kama wanaenda kwa mjeso ngepeleka sisi kama wasee. Tunaenda tunasindikiza. Kufurahisha sisi tu, tunaenda kuangalia huko na kuona mchezo.
For now, Chelimo continues selling vegetables to fend for her family and to make ends meet. Chelimo Mayo's story is a classic case of a prophet not being recognized in her home, that despite being an Olympian, people here in Mulango shopping center in Nandi County take her just for an ordinary mama mboga. Steve Keter, NTV Sports.
And as always, many thanks to you, Steve Keter. Let's move on. The Jubilee government is rushing in its sunset years to fulfill its 2013 campaign pledge to construct new stadia and also renovate existing ones. A unique story is unfolding in Trans Nzoia County, with the private developer Ndora Kaiburi is constructing a stadium in Kitale to facilitate sports people in the region. And as Lois Wangoi reports, the private developer has a challenge for the national and county governments.
Mzee Ndora Kaiburi, who is in his 70s, was a sprinter in his heydays, but all he got to show for his talent were household items, as lack of enhanced training hindered his progress.
Ulikuwa nakimbia, ukishinda unapewa kitu kama sahani, karaya, kikombe. Hiyo napelekea bibi yako na maneno inakuishia hapo.
Inspired by his failed athletics career and in the wake of enticing earnings in the world of athletics, Mzee Kaiburi is now constructing this sports complex, with his dream being to support untapped talents in the region.
Sasa nimekuwa nikifikiria sana vile hao wajukuu wanaweza shughulikiwa. Sababu sasa wanakaa tu namna hiyo na kipawa kama hiki cha kukibia na nini. Isiposhughulikiwa wakati ufaao inakwisha.
And the private developer has urged the government to shun corruption if they intend to complete the promised stadia before Jubilee's time in government is up.
Lakini si ati nimetumia mamilioni nyingi sana. Ni vile tu nimechunga pesa. Mimi naona hapa nikimaliza nitakuwa nimemaliza, kama nitajenga saa ingine pavilion ndio inaweza kuwa kitu kama 30 million. Watapewa pesa na national government, county government, wajenge ma stadium. Tafadhali wasikule hiyo pesa, hata kama hao ni nini. Hata fisi aliumbwa na Mungu akiwa mlafi sana, lakini hajawahi kula mtoto yake.
Already the complex is meeting the needs of sports people in the region.
Sasa North Rift region, especially Trans Nzoia, I think ndio the only stadium ile iko Olympic standard. Kuja uende around utaona track zetu ziko standard kabisa.
Trans Nzoia inaenda kupata, yani tunaenda kwa surprise. Kama mimi mwenyewe niko under 20. That team I'll make sure nimeingia.
Na mimi najua hao wajukuu wangu tutawafanya wawe milionea na wakuja wabadilisha maisha yao na maisha ya jamii zao.
The sports complex is expected to be completed in 2 months' time. Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of Trans Nzoia.
Kenyans and their iconic love for the English Premier League is something that's quite well known. And while local banter has predominantly been between record league title holders Manchester United and fierce rivals Arsenal, the last decade has seen different legions of fans emerge. Now, with Liverpool winning a maiden EPL crown, many of you sent over celebratory videos. Let's have a look.
Liverpool, mama. Amazing comeback by Liverpool.
Not long to wait now, Liverpool fans.
We've won the league! Yeah! Come on, Liverpool! Premier League champion! Woo! Come on, Liverpool! Woo! Wow!
Well, talk about passion. Those were just a couple of videos that we managed to put together, of course, constrained by time for just a bit, but we will be sure to put up more as the days go by. Well, let's move on to Tanzania, where the rivalry between Tanzania Premier League giant Simba and Yanga is legendary. Now, with Simba winning their third title in a row, ex-Yanga players Ibrahim Ajib and Gadieni Michael, who now feature for Wekundu wa Msimbazi, could not help but sing in joy.
Simba ya madoido hatuna shobo, weka nzutobo kule ya jibu shibo. Simba ya moo watali mwembweka tumbali, weka mbali pembeni kapumbi, hata nipiga mpaka niwe misimba siami. Nasema mkanisema hata miroge misimba siami.
Well, that wraps it up. Let me pass it over to Ken Mijungu.
Well, thanks, Ida, for the sports. And just before we end NTV tonight, just some feedback from you. There's public outrage over the story on DJ Evolve. We'll be playing the story as we end the show tonight. But just some feedback on what you had to say about this story. I'll begin with Catwoman 007, who says Kenya is watching and waiting for justice for DJ Evolve. El Manji says the same way tweets were tweeting and rallying behind Black Lives Matter is the same way we should demand for justice for DJ Evolve. This has hit home and it has hit hard. That's from El Manji. From Kenyan Almighty, Ngure Ngure on Twitter says, sad to see this guy like this. It's unbelievable that he was fit and had hands and skills to help him earn a living, but now he has to depend on handouts for some people. And His Excellency Babu Wino is deluding himself that he is the future of the country. That's Ngure Ngure on Twitter. No Rules Alpha, he says, I hope you are sleeping well. That's to Babu Wino. And the hashtag is justice for DJ Evolve. And Saint Vane also on Twitter says, at least now NTV Kenya, you guys are doing the job you should do. Let's see a few more of your tweets. Ronald Mkosi on Twitter says, Babu Wino should be stripped of his parliamentary seat after the shooting offense. It is very sad he's on the payroll while DJ Evolve cannot even work. What justice did he get? And the hashtag is justice for DJ Evolve. Sydney Waichuli says, this story is too sad. While still the perpetrator is gallivanting elsewhere. Last days, this truly are. And just a few more. Kenya Moja, that's Stella Kinyanjui says, he's tagging everyone there and saying, I'm telling you, if this man gets away with this, then it will be confirmed that we are a banana republic. Justice for DJ Evolve. The hashtag must be done. Otherwise, case, law and order. Goodbye and let the country go to the dogs. And finally on NTV tonight, some of your feedback. The system is telling us, as a Kenyan, your life doesn't matter unless you're a politician. Keep defending your favorite politicians for 500 shillings. Well, that's some of your feedback. A lot of them on Facebook. We don't have time for them. But what we have time for is this story here. Is exclusive story. NTV speaking to DJ Evolve and the mother, Dan Mwangi, with that. And of course, thanks to our sign language interpreter tonight, Flora Teno. My name is Ken Mijungu. Have a good night.
Your account of things, what happened on the fateful day?
On the fateful day, no, it's okay. Niko na emotion. Sitaki kuongea story ya huyu. Sitaki kuongea. Okay, vile nilipata ripoti ya kijana wangu ati amepata accident pale pake pa kazi, nilikuwa shocked and niliona kila kitu imeturn upside down, lakini nilirudi kwa Mungu wangu nikaambia Mungu, ishatendeka, usimame na mimi na uniokolee mtoto wangu.
How are you feeling now? You're doing better. Okay. Right now you're able to move your hands a bit. Okay, but that's some good progress from before. Okay. So now how do you get like your upkeep? Kazi yako imesimama sasa ndio ili uweze kuja kumuona ama kwa vipi?
Tangu 17th January kila kitu ilisimama upande wangu. Singefanya chochote na mtoto wangu wako hivi. So mi niko tu na yeye always since 17th January up to now. Amekuwa osi kwa mwezi 6. So kama mtu ataweza sema ati mimi ndio nilisema tolewe, mimi sio daktari. Nijue kama mgonjwa ametosha kwenda nyumbani ama bado anafaa kwende akae hospitali. Niliona kwa gazeti na nilikuwa shocked. Sijawahi ongea na mtu yoyote wa media. So hizo reports zao waliandika juu yangu wasemada. Sijui pahali walitoa. Mi concentration yangu ni kwa huyu kijana wangu apone. Bill ilifika 17 million point something. So a week before the week tulitoka, niliona ilikuwa alishalipa, babu alishalipa 7 million, but hiyo ni agreement ilikuwa kati yake na hospitali. So yeye ndiye analipa, hapo siwezi sema kitu kwa hiyo bili iko juu yake. Yeah.
What kind of care is he getting from home now that he's here?
Okay, akona nurses wale alipewa na daktari ndio wako na yeye hapa. So ako under home care.
Mkenda kotini, what are you hoping to get?
Justice for my kid. Only that.
Na babu amekuongelesha wewe?
Hajawahi muona. Hatujawahi ongea. Na ile machungu ninayo siwezi ongea. Mimi huwa naongea tu na Mungu wangu. Siwezi ongea. Siwezi ongea. Kwa naona kama maisha ya mtoto wangu imeharibiwa.
There was a report that you had forgiven the person who did this to you. Maybe just clarify. Okay.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
What's the point of your revenge if it'll cost you your life?
I think you should head to your daughter-in-law first. I'm not her nanny. There's nothing wrong with being a nanny, right? It's a decent job. What if Anna and Stella are one and the same?
Miranda, you told me Anna's already dead.
I thought of a plan, a sure way to get the truth out of that woman. I'm the one who will finish the Del Mundo's wickedness. With your fingerprints, Stella, we can confirm your real identity. Is that your best shot, to accuse me?
Because I'm sure that it's you, Anna. There are other ways to attack Salvador. I'll deal with his clients one by one. It's time that I apply everything you taught me.
His Excellency Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is pleased to notify property owners within Kakamega County of his decision to extend a 100% waiver. The waiver has been extended from 1st June to 31st August 2020.
My Kenya, My Story mobile phone film competition, an initiative of the Kenya Film Commission, is an annual event that seeks to inspire creativity among filmmakers in the country and to widen the scope of filmmaking exclusively using smartphones. After a public campaign by the participants and a rigorous tallying process, a 5-member jury selects the winners. This Tuesday, 30th June, the Kenya Film Commission will announce the winners of the 3rd edition of this competition in a virtual live event which will be aired on NTV. The winners will walk away with cash prizes and complimentary giveaways from our partners. Kenya Film Commission. Film Kenya. Capture Africa. University Chancellor Dr. Abbas Gulet, the Vice Chancellor Dr. Idil Farah, the Council, Senate and the larger university community would like to invite the public to the 3rd graduation ceremony that will be conducted on 30th June from 10:30 a.m. The ceremony will be held at Umar University Graduation Pavilion at Kajiado Main Campus, Namanga Road. Umar University is keen on empowering students by fostering knowledge and innovation both physically and virtually. The event will be virtual and parents and students are not required to be physically present. Umar University, fostering knowledge and innovation.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated 18. It may contain scenes suitable for adults only.
We are the Murayas. Turudie tena. Okay. We are the Murayas. Ya mwisho.
Beba tuwezi nisumbua hivyo, imagine. Nimechoka.
Okay, ya mwisho kabisa.
Hapana, hatuwezi endelea.
Sasa mimi ni mzee wa nyumba na unisikizi.
Sasa usiseme, sasa